You are listening to chartingwealth.com for Friday, the 27th of April, 2018. We see that stocks are up for the day. The S&P 500, 1%. The Nasdaq 100 is represented by QQQ up over 2%. Bonds up 0.7% and gold down 0.35%. Let's jump into what the weekly charts are looking like on the S&P 500. Right now we have a doji on our Heiken Ashi candlesticks. In other words, it had started off bounding down big time, but now that has retraced greatly. We'll see how Friday ends up. What we see happening as far as our indicators go, derivative oscillator losing downward momentum, price percent oscillator almost flat. So that is indeed interesting as we continue to see power, and that is that downward momentum, back off on the derivative oscillator. Let's look a little deeper at the 2-day chart. Looked like it was going to cross over going down, and instead what we see happening is it's pulled back quite strongly on the S&P 500. And of course we see that we have two down candles. This candle finished drawing today, and that is on Thursday as we go into Friday. Started on Wednesday, so it's ended on the 26th. And of course, it is still down as far as the Heiken Ashi candlesticks go, but the derivative oscillator is positive. Price percent oscillator looks like it's headed back up again. As we look a little closer on the 4-hour chart, it is again still moving toward moving up. We've seen the derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillator moving up, hasn't crossed over yet, going up strong in the morning, and in the afternoon blasting through that 50-period moving average line. So we'll keep our eyes on the prize and see just how the S&P 500 finishes the week, and if things are going to slide sideways further, if this up movement that actually started during the prior week is going to continue, or if we're going to see things go down. We're just going to have to keep an eye on things. We'll see how the week finishes up and let you know. Let's move on to QQQ. That's, of course, the Nasdaq 100. It's not quite a doji, so it doesn't mean the massive indecision we see in the S&P 500 on the weekly chart, but it is a red spinning top, which means indecision tending down. Derivative oscillators losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillator still headed down on the weekly chart. As we check out the 2-day chart, again, getting wishy-washy on us. It crossed over going up on that 2-day chart back on the 18th, crossed back over going down on the 2-day chart ending on the 24th of April, and now looks like it's getting close maybe to crossing back over going up, because we've had that pullback over the course of the last day. Like we said, QQQ, the Nasdaq 100, up 2.11%. Remember, the derivative oscillator is still in the positive. Price percent oscillator looks like it's getting close to crossing over going up. As we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that strong up movement actually started like on the S&P 500 the prior day on Wednesday in the afternoon, and then bounded up Thursday morning and afternoon. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillator not crossed over yet, but is headed up. Back to the weekly chart, and then on to TLT. That's the 20-year bonds. And of course, we're looking to see if indeed we're going to have a crossover going down. We may have that by the end of the week, a weekly vertical crossover. Right now, of course, it crossed over going up back on the 29th of March, and then really sort of topped out, slid sideways, and started going down in the prior week strongly, and even stronger over the course of this last week, but a bit of a pullback in the day on Thursday. So we'll see how Friday does. We look at the 2-day chart. We see again 3 strong down candles. Derivative oscillator, price percent oscillator headed down. We look at the 4-hour chart, and that's where we see some of the up movement. But keep in mind that up movement really sort of recovered from where it went down just in the afternoon on the Heiken Ashi candlestick on the prior day on Wednesday. We do see derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillator looks like it's headed up. If we end the week, of course, with a weekly vertical crossover, we will let you know at the close of the market on Friday. And how do you get the notification of that via text messaging? Well, if you live in the United States, I'm sorry we don't offer it for folks living in foreign jurisdictions, you again can listen to the comprehensive review and forecast and we'll tell you. But if you would like to subscribe and you live in the U.S., you simply send the word Charting Wealth to the number 33222 on your cell phone. And again, full instructions are in the daily market review that we send out every day, along with our comprehensive review and forecast. You can also find those instructions at our YouTube channel and in the daily posting at our website, chartingwealth.com. So that's where we are on TLT. See how the week shapes up. The week ends up, rather. And lastly, let's look at gold, if my voice holds out here. Please excuse me. There, that's better. We see gold down 0.35% for the day. And of course, as we look at we need to go to our weekly chart. We see on our weekly chart that gold really did drop off pretty strongly over the course of this last week. It was still in a confirmed down move all the way back since the 16th of March, but it really sort of tacked up most of the time. Really started moving down strongly just over the course of the prior week. As far as our weekly chart goes, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum, price percent oscillator headed down on the weekly chart. As we look at the 2-day chart, what do we see? Well, it crossed over going down back on Tuesday the 24th. And again, another strong red down candle. And of course, as we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that it just continues to trundle down. We've been looking at a jumping in point. Now that we have the 2-day moving in the same direction as the weekly, that gives us the potential to jump into a down move, but we've just not had the ability to find a jumping in point yet. We'll continue to look on that. Big thing to pay attention to for the comprehensive review and forecast is if we do have a weekly vertical crossover going down on 20-year bonds. And of course, we'll have that whole comprehensive review and forecast at the end of the market for the week. We'll record that on Friday, put it out Friday afternoon for you to listen to and view over the weekend. Now again, please keep in mind, you can pre-order our book, Charting Your Way to Wealth. I'm just getting reviews on the cover, art for the cover. And again, we'll have this book out in the next few days, next week or so is what we're planning. So you can go ahead and pre-order. You can find all the information you need in all the places you can expect at our YouTube channel, at Charting Wealth, and all of you who receive our subscribers. And again, that's free. You can sign up at chartingwealth.com. It's also in the daily email that you receive. You can also order, if you would like to have our spiral-bound trader journals. Those are also available. Instructions on how to order those are also there. We appreciate everyone who signed up, and also those of you who've just decided to support us with $30 a month to help us defray the cost of all that we do. That's just a voluntary contribution, and we so appreciate it. And of course, for those folks, we're doing a special broadcast for you every month talking about the things that really count. So God bless you. Thank you so much. You know how expensive it is to bring this to you. And we've never charged a penny for what we do, but we sure appreciate donations and we sure appreciate purchases of our trader journals and pre-ordering our new book, Charting Your Way to Wealth. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.